Los Angeles Rams fans, I honestly have been pacing around my living room all morning trying to process the magnitude of what we are hearing today. Something is developing within the organization that could completely redefine our championship window and shake up the entire league hierarchy. It is a situation that sounds almost too legendary to be true, yet the noise coming from the front office is becoming impossible to ignore. The more updates that surface, the harder it is to keep my cool about our defensive future. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop your name and city below. Let's get into it. The biggest news of the offseason is that the greatest defensive player in franchise history, Aaron Donald, is reportedly in the process of coming out of retirement to rejoin the Los Angeles Rams for the 2026 season. After spending 10 incredible years with us, securing 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards, 8 All-Pro selections, and that legendary Super Bowl LVI ring, Donald retired following the 2023 campaign as the most feared force in the NFL. Now, despite being away from the game for 2 seasons, the 35-year-old remains in elite physical shape and is seriously considering a return to help us secure another trophy. According to reports from Jason LaCanfora, this comeback is not meant to be a minor cameo, as Donald intends to be a major contributor on a team already bolstered by the massive addition of Myles Garrett. The emotional impact on our fan base is truly electric because we have watched him dominate for a decade and never truly felt like his story in LA was over. While we expect him to skip the start of training camp at Loyola Marymount, the organization is prepared to manage his workload with a pitch count as he ramps up for game action. What makes this even bigger is that opposing general managers are already worried about facing him, as his presence alone turns our defensive front into an unstoppable juggernaut. The bottom line here is that adding a motivated Donald to a unit already led by sack leader Byron Young changes everything for our title odds. We always knew he was the heart and soul of this team, and seeing him return to the field alongside our new defensive stars is the dream scenario we have been waiting for as we prepare to ram it all the way to the Super Bowl. The truth is, this potential comeback is unfolding because Aaron Donald has never truly disconnected from our locker room, even after walking away in 2023 with 111 sacks and 8 All-Pro selections under his belt. While he stepped back to preserve his body, his presence on the sidelines during our recent deep playoff runs proved the competitive fire never died. We are talking about a guy who stayed in elite physical shape, avoiding the typical post-retirement weight gain that plagues many legends, making his return far more realistic than your standard PR stunt. Historically, the Rams have always operated with a win-now mentality, but bringing back a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year is unprecedented territory for this franchise. Behind closed doors, Sean McVay and the front office are likely viewing this as the ultimate insurance policy. They already traded Jared Verse to land Myles Garrett, signaling an aggressive pursuit of a title, and adding Donald to that front creates a nightmare scenario for any offensive line. They know he is not returning for a victory lap. He is coming back to secure a second ring. From a financial perspective, his return would likely be structured as an incentive-heavy deal that minimizes the cap hit while maximizing impact. We saw how close we were to glory last season, falling just inches short of the Seahawks, and the coaching staff understands that window is closing rapidly. If he returns by mid-season, the defensive rotation shifts from good to historically dominant, giving us the exact boost needed to clear those final hurdles. The front office is playing a high-stakes game of patience, keeping the door open because they know that when the stakes are at their highest, there is simply no player in NFL history you would rather have hunting the quarterback. Ram it. The return of Aaron Donald is not just some feel-good retirement story, it is the ultimate game-changer that pushes our championship window wide open right now. This is where it gets real because we are talking about pairing the greatest defender of our generation with Myles Garrett, creating a defensive front that should strike pure terror into every quarterback across the league. Adding AD back to the mix effectively solves our rotational depth issues, allowing us to keep both him and Garrett fresh while giving guys like Byron Young even more one-on-one opportunities to wreak havoc in the backfield. Financially, this move is a masterstroke because it maximizes the prime years of our roster, turning a very good unit into an absolute nightmare for opponents. Looking ahead, this completely transforms our outlook against the Seahawks, especially after that heartbreaking loss in the NFC Championship game last season. We now have the tactical advantage to stifle their offense and dictate the tempo in those pivotal divisional clashes that define our path to the playoffs. Furthermore, with Donald anchoring the interior, our ability to shut down high-powered offenses makes us the undisputed team to beat in the NFC. The betting markets are already reacting, but the real impact is on the field, where opposing offensive lines will have no answer for a front featuring 2 future Hall of Famers. We were knocking on the door of a Lombardi trophy last year, and with this reunion, the gap between us and the rest of the conference has never been wider. Our Super Bowl odds are plummeting for a reason, and as Rams fans, we should be salivating at the thought of seeing that jersey back under the lights because this team is officially locked and loaded. Ram it! The prospect of Aaron Donald returning to Los Angeles is an absolute dream scenario because his presence instantly transforms an already elite defensive unit into a historical force that would terrify every quarterback in the league. By lining up alongside Myles Garrett, the Rams would field two of the most dominant pass rushers of this generation, creating a nightmare scenario for opposing offensive lines that simply cannot double-team everyone. Think about it this way. This move pushes our championship window wide open while injecting the locker room with the type of championship pedigree that defined our Super Bowl run. However, we must address the glaring risks of this move, specifically the fact that Donald has been away from live game action for 2 seasons. Relying on a 35-year-old veteran, even one as legendary as him, creates concerns regarding his durability and ability to regain that elite form after such a long layoff. Around the league, rival general managers are already sounding the alarm, viewing this as a dangerous gamble that could stifle the development of younger depth pieces if he takes significant snaps. Other analysts worry that bringing back a retired icon disrupts the established rhythm of Sean McVay's current defense, especially since he might not join the team until mid-season. And I will be real with you, I am conflicted about this potential homecoming. While the idea of seeing Donald back in a Rams jersey gets me fired up, I fear that we might be chasing past glory at the expense of our future flexibility. If he comes back and plays like his vintage self, we are undeniably the team to beat. But if his impact is limited, we might regret disrupting the chemistry of a team that is already built to compete for another title. Ram it! The bottom line here is that the return of Aaron Donald alongside Myles Garrett signals an all-in approach that transforms our championship window into a wide-open door for the next few seasons. Bringing back a legend while already boasting an elite roster proves that Sean McVay and the front office are laser-focused on securing another Lombardi trophy before this current core ages out. As Los Angeles Rams fans, we should be feeling absolutely electric about this news, because having two of the most dominant defensive linemen to ever play the game on the same front line is a nightmare for every opposing quarterback in the league. This isn't just about adding depth, it is about securing a massive psychological advantage over our rivals. The fact that Donald has kept himself in peak physical shape suggests he is ready to dominate from the moment he steps back onto the field. Think about it this way, we were already knocking on the door of a title following that tough loss to Seattle, and this addition provides the exact firepower needed to cross the finish line. We are looking at a defense that will dictate the tempo of every single contest, and that confidence should resonate throughout our entire locker room. What nobody is talking about is just how much this will force other NFC contenders to pivot their entire offensive strategies just to account for our pass rushers. With this potential duo anchoring our defense, are you more excited to see Aaron Donald return to the field, or to see how Myles Garrett performs in his first full season under our system? I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Ram it! I'll see you in the next one.